At Coverings 2014, CTDA is highlighting a number of new initiatives, including the Total Solutions Plus conference that we produce in the fall, along with the Tile Council of North America, the National Tile Contractors Association, and the Tile Contractors Association of America. We're excited about that program in late October. And we also have a new initiative in partnering with Confindustria, the Italian Ceramic Manufacturers Association, to help distributors in the U.S. Better import products. One of the challenges that many distributors have is getting products from other countries through customs when they have pests and other phytosanitary problems. And we've created an initiative with Confindustria to solve those challenges and help our distributor members import products more easily.
Very good. What are some of the interesting products and services that your members are highlighting in this show?
As our members are distributors, so very few of them exhibit, but they will be obviously walking the show and looking for new products and new opportunities to take back to their companies and their communities. And we've seen a number of new products already on the show floor, which are really exciting, and so I'm sure our members are going to find a lot.
What are some of the important industry trends going on right now that you're seeing?
The obvious big industry trend is thin tile, and that's a big initiative. Many manufacturers have new thin tile products, and the industry has a challenge keeping up with and developing new standards for the installation of those materials. So that's going to be a trend for 2014.
And what are some of the features of the show that you're really excited about?
Many new features this year at Coverings, which I think are very exciting, and some old ones that we've expanded upon. So we have a great conference program with an extra day of conferences added this year and a number of great speakers, all for free. So that's really something that this industry provides to the industry through Coverings. We have the Installation Design Showcase, which we added a few years ago and provides a real great opportunity for folks to see the products in action and see installers making those products come to life. And then lastly, this year we've added a distributor lounge on the show floor that's great for members of CTDA.
Plus lots of yummy snacks.
Absolutely.
So this is the 25th anniversary of Coverings. What does that mean to your organization and to the industry as a whole?
I think it means a lot. The first is it means this industry is committed to growing the industry. You know, the Coverings show is produced by the industry for the industry, and I think that's a big part of its long-term success. So I've been here for 21 years, hope to be here for another 21 and maybe see the, what would that be, the 45th anniversary.
Talk about some of the specific benefits that Coverings provides your members.
I'm going to have to ask you to repeat that question.
Talk about some of the specific benefits of the Coverings show that your members benefit from.
Sure, Coverings provides a number of benefits for distributors as well as contractors and retailers and architects and designers, but my members are distributors, and so the number one opportunity at Coverings is for our members to see new friends, make new friends, and see old friends, see new products and services that they can purchase and provide to their customers and their communities, and to stay on top of industry trends.
Now, there are other industry events. How is Coverings superlative in industry events for this industry?
Coverings, as I mentioned before, is by the industry for the industry. And that's what sets Coverings apart from all other industry events. Because the organizations that produce Coverings are ceramic tile and stone industry organizations, we know what the members want, we know what kind of products and services we should be emphasizing to them. We know what kind of education to deliver for them, and we're not greedy, so we're not charging for those educational programs. We give them away for free because that helps the industry grow.
So is there anything that you'd like to say as an attendee to encourage people to come to this event?
I think if you're not at Coverings, you're missing a great deal. You miss all the new products and services that are happening in the industry. You miss the opportunity to connect with and network with industry peers and learn from industry peers in the fantastic conference programs we have. So if you haven't been to Coverings ever, or if you haven't been in a while, you better come in 2015.
Well, the National Tile Contractors Association represents the labor side of our industry. The thin tile is a big technological development that's taking place right now. Our job as an association representing the installers is to quickly ramp up and get the installers educated on how to handle the thin tile products, how to purchase the proper equipment for those rapidly improving technological tiles, and how to install these products. It's a very big different mindset right now that's taking place in installing large format thin tile compared to what traditional tile has been. That's our number one initiative.
So what interesting products and services are you seeing at the convention this year?
Well, in addition to thin tile, what's just amazing me is the ability now of the tile manufacturers to replicate other product lines such as stone looks and wood looks. I've been in the tile industry a long time, and what the tile manufacturers have done in this industry in the past 20 years is nothing short of amazing in what they're making. You could literally touch and feel some of this material, and you would not tell the difference between wood or stone. On the manufacturing side, that's one thing. What's really impressive is on the installation material side, they've also kept pace, and they continue to develop new systems that allow the tile contractor, the installer, to keep pace with all this technology and install the product quicker and faster and certainly successfully.
And so what are some of the key trends you're seeing besides thin tile? What are some of the other trends you're seeing in the industry?
Well, besides thin tile, there's such a vast array of artistic tile that's come in, and glass tile. And glass tile's been going on for some time now, but it's coming in so many different formats. And I just think also the modular sizes, the different size tiles that's coming in play. Architects and designers are falling in love with different patterns. They like to work with tile in a non-traditional way of just a square format. So herringbone patterns, plank patterns, different size pieces of tile in a variety of formats is really taking place right now, and it's really a positive trend. It's an installation challenge, but it's a positive trend.
So what are some of the new features of the show this year that you've seen that you like?
Well, for 3 or 4 years now, we've had the Installation Design Showcase going on, and we were very instrumental in that, in creating that program, and I think that's continuing, and it's taking on a life of its own. And the flexibility of the designers working with our installers has been a very successful program for the show for the last 3 or 4 years. We're also seeing a lot more live stages taking place, which creates a lot of show activity and a lot of fun. We started that several years ago in the TCA Pavilion with live stages, but now we're seeing a lot of exhibitors and a lot of companies do their own stages and have their own programs scheduled in their own booths, and I think that's really a positive sign for the show.
Cool. Bart, do this with your lip. You just get a little bit of a sheen there.
Sure.
So Coverings has been around now for 25 years. What do you think the Coverings show has brought to the industry? How has it benefited from it?
Well, Coverings is different than a lot of shows in the sense that it's truly a tile and stone show, and it's a community. We're one big family, and we continue to grow. It's a large show, but I think from that standpoint, people that come here really have a focus, and that focus is on educating themselves in the tile and stone industry. I think that makes us uniquely different than some other trade shows.
You answered 3 questions with that one comment. So how do you convince people to come to this show who maybe weren't thinking about coming?
That's a big challenge. I think that, to me, free educational program and the ability to network in our industry is invaluable. And I think that no matter how many companies come and visit you in your own region and your own market, there is just not the opportunity that you have at a trade show of this nature. And to me, that is the single most successful component of what we bring is, as an industry, is the ability to meet each other, do business with each other, and learn from each other and share with each other from people in different markets. In other words, when you do it in your own market, it's generally with your own competitors, and you're not so willing to share all of that information. But if you're talking to a peer from another market and they're not competing with you, you really kind of open up and are able to share common problems and differences. I think that's a real important component of this show.
We have a group of installers that have met the criteria of a minimum of 2 years experience as a tile installer in the field, taking this test to certify their skills not only in skill, but also in knowledge. So today they're doing the hands-on test here at the covering show to demonstrate both their installation prowess in installation of wall tile as well as floor tile.
And then in the advanced area, what are these guys doing?
Once they've met the criteria of either being a certified tile installer through CTEF or have met the criteria of a journeyman installer through the IUBAC, the Bricklayers Union, that is the minimum criteria. Then they're allowed to take the advanced level courses, of which there are 5 separate tests in that category.
Now, why is it so important for installers to maintain this continuing education?
We see the rapid change in the industry where the days of sand, cement, and a little bit of lime have long since passed, and we have such a plethora of material changing in the industry that it's incumbent upon the installer to stay abreast of those new updates in the industry, because what used to work in the old days may not work well with the products that we have on the market today. And even the newer products today may not work well together. So they have to have the wherewithal to know what will and will not work well together and still maintain their prowess of installation skill.
Now, this is sort of a layman question. Are there guys who resist this continuing education, think, hey, I've been doing this for 30 years, I know what I'm doing?
If I heard that one once, Craig, I've heard that one 1,000 times, because I don't need it, I'm so good, I don't need it. And there may be a small group of installers that are the type and caliber that they don't advertise, and maybe for them that may be okay. But we are really here to drive the market in a sense where we're giving the consumer, be they residential or commercial, a choice. Because unfortunately, the industry has gotten a black eye where the person that has not gotten the experience that you just alluded to have gone out and go into the tile installation business, because in our industry there is very, very little barrier. We could go to a box store, buy a couple of $100 worth of tools, and we're in. Unfortunately, that doesn't qualify them for putting an installation in place that will have longevity.
Why is it important for you to be able to certify installers here at the show on site?
Good question. We actually started in 2008 here at the covering show with 5 installers. We just certified our 1,000th person in Portland, Oregon about 4 weeks ago. He, in fact, is here testing in the ACT, the Advanced Certification Program. We find it important because we've got to build a critical mass of installers that meet the label of what's called qualified labor. And through the help of the IUBAC and other forces of NTCA and other alphabet soups, if you will, of the tile industry, we've been able to get a statement involved in the ARCOM spec, which is the specification that architects use for drafting their specifications for projects. So we now have a statement in there calling for qualified labor. And we've also gotten that same statement in the Tile Council of North America handbook. So now we have a united front saying that we must have qualified labor, and the architects having difficulty with installations that they've done that may not have been as good as they could have been, now have the criteria of they've got to be a certified tile installer or a journeyman installer or an ACT installer to qualify to even bid the project. It's at its infancy, and we realize that, but it's like this program, who would have thought when we started with 5 we'd be at 1,000? We're just starting to take foot. The beauty of what's happened is that in getting to that 1,000 number, it was sometimes difficult to get people to realize, as you mentioned a moment ago, about that person that's been doing it for 30 years, don't need it, to get those people on board. But now we have people calling us because they're saying, well, in order for me to bid this project, I have to have a qualified labor pool to do the installation. How do I do that? Can you just send me a certificate? Short answer, no. Because it's not that way. This is not a good old boys network. Never has, never will be. You've got to prove, as these fellows are doing right here, you've got to prove what you have at the end of your arms and up here. Because we need knowledgeable people that have the talent to do the installation correctly first time.